All right, YouTube, here we go. This is the engine out of the 05 Malibu. As you can see, wasn't a whole lot of rust. There was some rust, but not bad. Not bad wear. Here's the head. And we're going to look at what exactly happened when this thing went through a deep puddle of water. Okay, here, this is set up kind of different than like you would see a small block Chevrolet. You put the crank in and it's got main caps that go on it, then you put the pan on it. Well, this engine actually has this large section of the bottom of the block that has the main caps made in it. But you see how small the window is underneath the car. That's why I couldn't give you a good view before of what happened. So we don't need this piece. We'll get rid of that. And if you know anything about engines, a 4-cycle engine, you know there's 4 strokes. The piston stops at dead center with the intake valve open. First stroke is down. It's the intake stroke. Pulls in air and fuel, and whether it's carburetor or fuel injected, pulls in fuel and air mixture. Then it comes back to the top, which is a compression stroke. And all the volume in this cylinder is squeezed. This will be almost flat. And then you see this, so all of that volume is squeezed into this. And the spark plug ignites and it explodes. And the explosion really doesn't explode like a bomb. It really just expands real fast. And the expansion pushes the piston back down. That's called the power stroke. And then the momentum of that brings the piston back to the top with the exhaust valves open, which gets rid of all the burnt gases. And then it starts over again. When it gets to the top, the exhaust valves close, the intake valve opens, it goes back down, draws in fresh fuel. This is same on any engine, any piston engine, any 4-cycle piston engine, such as your lawnmower or semi-truck, gas or diesel, doesn't matter at all. It's just a different way of delivering fuel and different compression ratios. The engines are all the same principle. Piston engines. So this is the crankshaft. This spins around, and you can see here are main bearings. They're centered. If you look, they're all centered. And then you have your journals like this. See how it's off-centered. The line between here and here is your amount of stroke. However far apart they are, from here to here, that determines your stroke. So this goes around, and this goes around like that, and it pushes the piston up and down, and it's connected like this. Has a bearing in it. I can't tell if that one doesn't look like. It has this bolts on just like that, and it'll come around. The crankshaft goes around, the piston doesn't, and it goes in that hole like that. So, sorry if I'm moving my camera too much. You can see how that one looks. It's straight, good shape. There's a look at the main bearing. This motor has 217,000 miles on it and has almost no wear in there. That's another main bearing. There's a rod bearing. So these motors hold up real well. There's a rod in the main. Okay, now if you remember from your grade school physics, you cannot compress a liquid. So when we go through a deep puddle of water and the intake valves are open and the piston comes down, that's a vacuum. Anything in that vacuum is going to be pulled in the engine. Dirt, dust, mud, birds. That's why we have an air filter. Air filter stops small particles, doesn't stop water, doesn't stop air. Water goes through the filter, through the intake open valves, fills the cylinder, probably not completely full, but it, it puts enough in there. And then when the piston travels back to the top, all these valves are closed. So this chamber is now completely sealed. There's no way any liquid can go anywhere. And you know from grade school that you cannot compress a liquid. So what happens when all of the air is compressed and there's nothing here but liquid, the piston will stop moving. The car is still in motion because the transmission's still in gear. All the transmission pressure is still up. So the only option you got is to bend or break parts or slide the tires. Front wheel drive cars, the engine's on top of the tires, so they break stuff. A pickup, something that's real light in the rear end, they may very well just slide the tires and then you get the water out of it and then you're good to go. This one here, if you'll look, it didn't do that. It didn't do that. Where'd my bad one go? There it is. I can't see, so here's your connecting rod. I don't know where to put it where you can see it. See how it's bent that away? And then if you hold it that away, see how that one is. I'll hold this one up and a little bit straighter. I don't know if I can hold them together or not. We'll try it. She got a little hitch. Now the problem we have is when we bolt this to here, we bolt that to here, when it comes around like the other one did, it doesn't clear anymore. The piston's hitting the crank and the rod hits. See, it's causing all kinds of problems. So that is what happened to this car. It took in some water, which allowed it to bend, but if you look, all these rings are stuck. So had we got it to turn over, it's doubtful that it ever would have recovered anyway. Even I don't know, maybe if it got heat cycled a few times, maybe they would turn loose, but it's doubtful. It may not have even cranked with them. Look at their flat tops. Who would have thought? Well, it's got a little dish to it. Anyway, that's the story of what happened to the Malibu. Oh, you can see that rod good there. That baby is, we say, foo-barred. Wikipedia probably won't have the definition of foo-barred, but ask your local mechanic. He can tell you. Body shop guy. Well, that's what happened to the motor. It did get water on top of a cylinder. You can't compress a liquid, so something had to give, and it bent the rod. It was all in a bind in the crank, and I did get this one loose. That piece that I moved out of the way, I broke it so I could get a hold of the rod, get all the rod bolts out of it. Pushed it up out of the way, and it still wouldn't turn over. I guess these were stuck still just a little bit, but anyway, that's about it. Remember, like, tag, share, follow. Give my boy a little love. 180 Signs. He does my stickers and graphics. He made this for my little cart, and it's magnetized, so it won't fall off when the wind blows. And this is what I use for reading my trouble codes and stuff. Blue Driver, it works real well. This little thing's $100. The app for your phone is free. They're not sponsoring me. I bought this thing several years ago. It works real well. Anyway, I guess we can walk out here, show you the next victim. I need to do a video on it. 2002 Passat, bought on the auction site. Yeah, it's nice on the outside, but she's pretty rough on the inside. Got some problems, runs good, but got some issues we're going to work out. I'll do a video on it eventually. All right, thank you for watching. Have a good day.